Hello students, today we will be looking into the chapter of ratio and proportion. Another very easy and a simple chapter to score marks. So we will begin with everything to deal with ratio, proportion and also work out some difficult and important sums. So starting with ratio, what is a ratio? A ratio is a comparison of two quantities of the same type. You cannot compare quantities of different type. They have to be the same type, and also after being of the same type, you need to have it in the same unit. For example, if you are going to compare the length of the table with the length of a classroom, so the length has to be kept in the same unit. You cannot keep the length of the table in terms of centimeter, length of the room in terms of meter and compare. Both need to be brought in the same unit of centimeter and then compare. So if I have two quantities A and B, so comparison here is by means of division. So usually we will write it in a divided form like this, A by B. So we are comparing A in terms of B. The same thing when we deal in ratio, we write it as A is to B. So A by B gets written as A is to B. So this is like ratio. We read it as A is to B and the ratio sign is a double dot given there. Now in any ratio, the first part of it is called as antecedent. So the first part of the ratio is A. So A is called as antecedent and the second part of the ratio, which is B, is called as consequent. The terms needs to be remembered because in some of the sums they will inform you by these two words antecedent and consequent. When we are writing the ratio, order of it is very important. The ratio A is to B will not be the same as the ratio B is to A. So like for example, if I am going to compare the age of two persons, like if I am comparing the age of Reston with Steve, then I need to write the age of Reston first and then the age of Steve. So the ratio will be age of Reston is to the age of Steve. But if I go to compare in a different way, the reverse order, that is the age of Steve with the age of Reston, then Steve has to be written first and then Reston. So when you are asked to find the ratio in the question, please be careful to see what the order is asked. If it is comparing the age of Reston with Steve, then Reston age has to come first and then Steve age. But if it is the reverse, it is told to compare the age of Steve with Reston. So Steve age will come first and then Reston age will come. Another important thing about ratio which you should remember, ratio is a comparison of always two positive quantities. So whenever you are dealing with ratio and think your answer is coming in square root, you cannot take the negative value. You have to take only the positive value. So for example, by finding a ratio and the calculation comes as root of 4 by 9. So we will be writing it only 2 by 3. Positive one only, no negative one to be taken here, and this will become 2 is to 3. Like we have seen now, the ratio was comparison between two quantities I have shown. It can be the comparison between 3 or more than that also. So if I have three quantities A, B and C, we write the ratio as A is to B is to C. And always remember, when we write the ratio, we need to write it in the reduced form. Simplest form, that is, if they are getting, the numbers are getting reduced, reduce it and then express as ratio. Next, from ratio you can see the topic says proportion. So now we will move to proportion. Now what is meant by proportion? Proportion is the equality of two ratios, means two ratios when they are equal. So if I write what is proportion, so it is equality of two ratios. So two different ratios I should have. So for example, I have taken the first ratio as A is to B. Okay. Now another ratio is there, C is to D. If the ratios are equal, then we say they are in proportion. So we can write it with an equal to sign, or replace the equal to sign with a double ratio sign. So if I remove this equal to sign, I will represent it like this. Now in this proportion, the first and the last term are called as extremes. So extremes are A and D are extremes, and the two in the middle, that is B and C, they are called as means. B and C are called as means. Now with this proportion part, we come to a very important relationship which you will be using it practically in most of the sums. That is involving extremes and means. You know that A is to B can be written as A by B and C is to D can be written as C by D. Now if you cross multiply, you will get a result that A into D multiplied with B into C. So we call this in this way product of extremes will be equal to product of means. Very important relationship. So as I have told you, extremes are A into D and product of means is B into C. So this will get used a lot of times in the sums which you will be doing. Now we will take into look at different types of proportions, and the most important one is continued proportion. So if I have A, B and C in continued proportion, what it signifies is this way: A by B will be equal to B by C. It means with whichever ratio you are ending, you have to start with that same part of the ratio in the next one. So I ended here with the term B, so next one is starting with the term B, and with that the ratio of the next one. So with this continued proportion, there are certain things to be known, like here the A part is called as the first ratio, okay, the first term of the ratio. Then B is called as the means, okay, and then the C1 is called as third proportion. Now all these will get related, okay. See, in all the case, the first ratio, or to say the first term, the means, okay, and the third proportion, from here if you see, in any of the three of them will get related. If we cross multiply, we will get it as B square equals to AC. And this will be mainly used with the mean proportion and the third proportion. So you might be asked to find the mean proportion where B is in the mean proportion place. So the square of that will be equal to the product of the first and the third one. Or you are asked to find the third proportion. It means C will not be there. You have to find the value of C. Then also the relationship B square AC gets written. B value is given, A value is given, and you will find that C value. And one more thing, when we are finding the mean proportion, remember there is a square coming, so the square will go and you will get a square root. In this chapter, whenever you are finding the square root, do remember not to take the negative value. So for example, on calculating this, if you are getting a square root of 81, you are only going to write there plus 9, not minus 9. Now let us take a look at one of the important sums based on this ratio and proportion, which involves about mean proportion and third proportion. So we will see then the question says find two numbers such that the mean proportional between them is 28. So this is 28 and the third proportional to them is 224. So let us see how to work out this sum. So they have asked us to find two numbers. So we will let the two numbers be x and y. Okay. So now 28 is the mean proportion between x and y. So I will write it like this. Since 28 is the mean proportion between x and y, therefore, so in mean proportion I have told the one which comes in the middle is the mean proportion part, and you have seen a relationship there that the square of that mean part is equal to the product of the first and the third proportion. So here 28 square will be written equals to x into y, and from here I will get x equals to 28 square by y and call it as equation 1. So I have got a relationship by using the first information given. Now let's say that the third proportion to them is 224. So I will write then x, y and 224 are in proportion. So as a result now what I will write is that the square of this, the middle one, will be equal to x into 224. Now I am going to put the value of x from equation 1. So y square equals to 28 square by y into 224. So now if I cross multiply, I will be getting y cube 28 square, and this 224, because see I am getting a y cube here, so I need to get cube numbers here. So 224 is actually a product of 28 and 8. So I will write it as 28 into 8. So y cube is equals to 28 cube into 2 cube. 8 is 2 cube. Now all of them are having cube, so I can remove that cube. 28 into 2, so y value comes as 56. Now this y value I will put it in this part and get the value of x. So x equals to 28 square can be written as 28 into 28 and by y value is 56. So 28 2s are cancelled, 2 14s are cancelled, I get it as 14. So I can write here now, therefore the numbers are 14 and 56. So that's the solution of this sum. The next sum we take a look at is this one. If y is the mean proportional between x and z, we have to prove that x, y, z in the bracket x plus y plus z whole cube is equal to xy plus yz plus zx whole cube. So let's see how the solution goes. We are given the condition here, so we will write it since y is the mean proportion between x and z. Therefore, we go to write y square equals to xz. Now this relationship will be made use of while working out the sums. So we take the LHS part, which is x, y, z, x plus y plus z whole cube. Now take a look here, we have xz present. We have xz present here. Xz has a value y square. So I will write here y square into y, and this one will be written as it is. Now y square into y becomes y cube. So if I take it inside the bracket, which is already having a whole cube, I need to write only a y. So if I show it in this way, both are having cube, so I give another bracket and write a cube here. And so this becomes now xy plus y square plus yz whole cube. Now coming here is y square. This y square can be again be replaced with xz. So I have xy plus xz for y square and then yz, and write it as a cube, and that is equal to what was asked in the RHS part. So I can write it equal to RHS and the sum is done. Hope you find this sum an easy way to solve in this way. Now let us take another sum which involves a method which we call it as K method. There will be a lot of sums where you need to prove by using this K method. When you are doing sums based on K method, most of the sums you will have to solve by taking the LHS, substituting the values in terms of K, and then getting the LHS as well as the RHS coming to the same simplified form. But some of the sums can be done by solving only the LHS or RHS. So I have taken a sum here where the solving of LHS will lead to getting of that RHS part. So let us see this sum. The question says if A by B equals to C by D equals to E by F, all these three ratios are equal, then we have to prove that BDF multiplied with A plus B by B, C plus D by D and E plus F by F should come equal to 27 times of A plus B, then C plus D and then E plus F. So let us see the solution of it. Because the ratios are given equal, so we start with taking let A by B equals to C by D equals to E by F, and we take them as equal to K. Because we are taking it as k, we are calling this as a k method. Okay. So now because all the three ratios are equal to k, it means a is equals to bk. So by taking a by b equal to k, I get a relationship as a is equals to bk. If I take c by d equals to k, I will get a relationship by cross multiplying c equals to dk. And taking the last one with e by f equals to k, I will be getting e as fk. So when we do the sum, taking the LHS, wherever a is coming, we will substitute it with bk. Where c is coming, we will put it as dk. And where e is coming, we will put it as fk. So let us take the LHS part. BDF, then a plus b by b, c plus d by d, and then e plus f by f. Now let us substitute the value. BDF cannot be substituted, so written as BDF. For a, I will write bk plus b by b. For c, I will write dk plus d divided by d. And for e, I will write fk plus f divided by f. So we have substituted the values. So now we have everything in terms of b, d, f and k. So this outside the bracket, BDF written. Now bk plus b is getting divided by b. So b will divide both the terms of the numerator. So if I divide bk with b, I will get a k plus 1. Then plus, if I divide it with d, I will be getting it as again k plus 1. And same thing happens here, I get it as k plus 1. So now I have it over here, k plus 1, k plus 1, k plus 1, and there was a cube here, okay, which I had missed it over here. There was a cube here, okay. So this will be a cube. So BDF, this will be 3 times of k plus 1 whole cube. So I am going to get it here as BDF. Cube of 3 will give me 27, and then k plus 1 whole cube I will get it. So now I have got this value, but remember I have to get it in this way. So what I am going to write here now is, first of all I am writing 27 because 27 is needed here. Then I will take a b, and with that I will take a k plus 1. So b, and with that a k plus 1. Okay. Then this b and k plus 1, the way I have written, I could have also multiplied and written. So what I am going to do here is multiply and write that part. Okay. So that will give me in the bracket b k plus b. Now I will take d and multiply with one of those k plus 1, because there is cube, there are 3 of them. So I will be getting as dk plus d, and with f, the last k plus 1 which is left will give me fk plus f. Now 27, I require 27 is there. Then bk plus b. bk is what? A. So for this bk, I can write it over here a, and then plus b will be written. The second bracket, dk plus d. So dk can be written as c. So c plus d. And the last one, fk, can be written as e. So I will get it as e plus f, and that brings to you the RHS part. So that is equal to RHS, and the sum is done. I hope you have understood the solution of it. After understanding, try to work it out once again on your own. See the entire process and then again work it on your own. Then you will be able to remember how to work out this sum. So now let us see the solution of another sum which is based on K method. The question is like this. If A, B, C, D are in proportion, prove that A4 plus C4 is to B4 plus D4 is equal to A square, C square is to D square, D square. Now the question gives us information that A, B, C, D are in proportion. So we will relate it in this way. Let A by B equals to C by D is equals to K. We were able to write it in this way because A, B, C, D are in proportion means A is to B can be written as A by B and proportion can be written as equal to and C is to D as C by D. We are taking it as K, so this will provide us with, if A by B equals to K, it gives me A equals to BK, and if C by D is equals to K, it gives me C is equals to DK. Now we will be making use of the values of A and C and get LHS proved equals to RHS. So we start with the LHS part. So it is A4 plus C4. Now ratio I will be taking as division B4 plus D4. And now let us substitute the values of A and C. A is given to us as BK and A4 is there. So both B and K will get the power of 4. So it becomes B4 K4 plus C4 value is DK. So D to the power 4 into K to the power 4 divided by B4 plus D4. Now you get to see in the numerator part that K4 is coming as common. So we write that common. So from here if K to the power 4 is taken common, you are left with B to the power 4 and from here you are left with D to the power 4. Denominator remains as it is. Plus D to the power 4. So now this part is getting cancelled with this. So we are left with K to the power 4. Now we need to solve the RHS part and also get the same result K to the power 4 to get LHS equals to RHS. So I am solving RHS here. So which is A square, C square and by B square, D square. So now I will substitute A as BK. So it becomes B square, K square into C as DK. So it becomes D square, K square. Denominator we need not change. Now you can see B square is getting cancelled and here D square is getting cancelled. And K square into K square is K to the power 4. So LHS came as K to the power 4, RHS came as K to the power 4. So now we can write LHS is equal to RHS and the sum is proved. So most of the sums of K method you will have to take LHS, get a simple term like what we got here, take RHS, get the similar result and you can write that LHS equals to RHS. Now let us take another sum which is very important and plus many students find it difficult to solve it. I will be showing a way by which it will become very easy and convenient to understand. The question is, if A, B, C, D are in continued proportion, keep in mind this is not continued proportion, prove that A minus B by C plus A minus B by whole square, okay, A minus C by B, this entire part is in whole square, then minus B minus B by C plus B minus C by D whole square is equals to A minus D whole square in the bracket then 1 by C square minus 1 by B square. Continued proportion. So here when it is in continued proportion, okay, A, B, C, D are in continued proportion. So remember, in continued proportion, with which part of the ratio you end, the next ratio starts with that same part. So A by B, then now equal to, the next part will start with B. B by C equals to, now the last part of the ratio will start with the C. C by D. This is what means continued proportion. Now we will relate this in this way. If A by B equals to B by C, cross multiply. B into B is B square and A into C is AC. So this is one of our relationship which we will use. And then if I take the last two ratio, C into C is C square and B into D is BD. So another result I get, C square equals to BD. So wherever B square will be coming, I will be substituting as AC, and wherever C square will be coming, I will be substituting as BD. So let us see, take the LHS and simplify it out. So I have copied the LHS part. Now we will simplify it in this way. We take LCM and simplify it out. So I will get the LCM as BC. So now dividing BC with C, I will get B. So B multiplied with this will give me AB minus B square plus C will multiply with A to give you AC minus C square. Same process we will follow it in the second part of it. So here LCM will come as BC. So B multiplied with this is BB minus B square, and then C multiplied with this will give you CD minus C square, and then this whole square is to be written. Now we will substitute what values we know. So AB is copied. Now B square is coming, which I will put it as AC plus AC. Then the C square will be put as BD by this BC written. Then again over here, I will do the same thing. BB minus B square will be written as AC and plus CD, and C square will be written as BD by BC and then the square written. Now you get to see here AC is getting cancelled and here we are getting BD getting cancelled. Now AB minus BD is giving you a B common. So B written, from here A is left, minus from here D is left, by BC, and then this whole square is written. Now let us see from here what is happening. Minus AC and plus CD will give me a C common. So C taken. I will be left with a minus A here and a plus D there. So I will write first that plus D and then minus A by BC and then writing the whole square. Now you see here numerator B and the denominator B is cancelled. Same way here C is cancelled. I proceed the remaining sums over here. So from here I will be getting A minus D whole square and a C square in the denominator. So A minus D whole square by C square in the denominator minus, and then here I am getting a D minus A whole square and a B square in the denominator, and this B square in the denominator. Now a step needs to be understood. See, A minus D whole square gives you A square plus D square minus 280. If you expand d minus a whole square also, you will get d square plus a square minus 2ad. The result is the same. So I can replace this b minus a whole square as a minus b whole square. The first part copied as it is, and this part, instead of b minus a, now I will write a minus b whole square by b square. Okay. Now you can see the numerator of both of them are same. So I will take that as common. And from here I am left with a 1 by c square, and here I am left with a 1 by d square. And that result is the same as the RHS asked over here. So I go to write equals to RHS and the sum is done. Hope you have understood the concepts of proportion and the application of it with the help of all these different sums. Apply what you have learned. Try to do as many sums as possible to get a clear idea and understanding of it. If you have liked this topic which I have explained, kindly go to like this video, share it with your friends so that more of them can learn, and do remember to subscribe it also. Thanks you once again.